You think incognito mode makes you a digital ghost. It doesn't. It just means your browser won't remember your search history. Your internet provider still knows. Google still knows. The FBI agent assigned to your webcam definitely knows. And he is very disappointed in your taste in fan fiction. We cling to tech wisdom like it's ancient scripture, but technology moves faster than your willingness to read a user manual. Common knowledge in tech usually has a shelf life of about 3 years. After that, it becomes a myth. It becomes bad advice. Marketing teams love this. They feed you buzzwords. You eat them up. Today, we are deprogramming your brain. We are taking the facts you repeat at dinner parties and throwing them into the trash can. Then, we are emptying the trash can, which, as you will learn later, also doesn't actually delete anything. Let's start with the megapixel myth. You see a phone with a 200 megapixel camera. You think, this will take very good photos. Wrong. More megapixels do not mean better photos. They just mean bigger images. Photography is about light, and the camera sensor, of course. When you cram 200 million pixels onto that tiny square, each pixel becomes microscopic. Tiny pixels capture less light. Less light means more noise. More noise means the software has to smear the image to make it look clean. A 12 megapixel camera with large pixels often outperforms a 100 megapixel camera with tiny ones. Physics doesn't care about the marketing. Unless you are printing billboards, you don't need that many pixels. You need a better sensor or better lighting. Next, let's talk about your battery anxiety. You are terrified of leaving your laptop or phone plugged in overnight. You think it will overcharge. You think the battery will explode like a blockbuster movie prop. This hasn't been true for a decade. Modern devices have a battery management system, or BMS. It's a dedicated chip, and it's smarter than you. When the battery hits 100%, the BMS cuts the current. It might trickle charge occasionally to stay topped up, but it won't overfill. Manufacturers report that heat is the real killer, not charging duration. If you charge your phone under your pillow, you are cooking the battery chemistry, and that degrades lifespan. Leaving it plugged in on a desk is fine. You get a fully charged device in the morning. You give up the adrenaline rush of waking up to 4%. Another myth is the classic Apple arrogance. Macs don't get viruses. This was the selling point for years. It was never true. It was just statistics. For a long time, Windows had 90% of the market. If you were a malware writer, you wrote for Windows. It's a volume business. And in business, you want the biggest return on investment. But Macs are popular now. They are everywhere in tech and creative fields. That makes them a target. Security benchmarks show macOS is vulnerable to ransomware, adware, and phishing attacks. The walled garden has a door, and bad actors have found the keys. If you are out there downloading sketchy things from sites with 40 download buttons, unfortunately, your MacBook Pro won't save you. Let's move to hardware. Gold-plated HDMI cables. You walk into a store. You see a $5 cable. You see a $100 cable with gold tips. The box of the $100 cable promises warmer blacks and crisper highs. It is nonsense. HDMI is digital. It sends ones and zeros. There is no warmth. The signal either arrives or it doesn't. If the cable works, the picture is perfect. If it doesn't, you get sparkles or a black screen. There is no middle ground. You pay a 2,000% markup. You get the exact same pixels. The electrons do not care how much money you spent. Finally, let's discuss deleting data. You drag a file to the recycle bin or trash, and you empty it. You think the file is gone. You think it has been scrubbed from existence. It hasn't. Your hard drive has a table of contents. When you delete a file, the OS just deletes the entry in the table. It says, okay, this space is now available. The actual data? It's still sitting there. It stays there until the computer overwrites it with a new cat video. Recovery tools can read that empty space and pull the files right back. If you sell your laptop thinking you wiped it by just emptying the trash, the buyer can view your cat videos. You need to use secure erase features that overwrite the data with random zeros. Or, if you really want to be sure, a power drill. The drill method is not reversible. Tests confirm this. And lastly, tech is logic. It isn't magic. Now subscribe for more tech videos like this.